So as a guy, if I can sleep with a girl, very good chance I could get her into a relationship. But if you sleep with a guy, it's not a guarantee that you can get him into a relationship. And so for this reason, it's actually more important that women have a reasonable self-assessment of their own physical attractiveness in the dating marketplace. Otherwise, they're going to be chasing men who are, quite frankly, out of their league, and they're going to end up just either, jumping from guy to guy to guy, never getting commitment, constantly stuck in situationships. And then they're going to eventually, maybe down the road after they've had their fun in their 20s, they'll find a guy in their 30s and then settle with him. And it's probably not going to be a great relationship because she thinks she's settling. She could have done better. She's going to be pining over one or two or three guys in her 20s who are much more attractive, fucked her better, whatever it may be. So that's why it matters.
Can I respond?
Sure.
So I would say that it would be more about your values when you equal up to a person, because wouldn't it have to do with, like, if this person values this, we don't agree on the same values, then we're not gonna match up. So if I don't value something that ends up being a long-term thing, then I'm not gonna end up in that place with that person. I think wouldn't it have to do with values at the end of the day?
So you're men that you don't have the same values or whatever?
Yeah, if you're not in the same, if you don't have the same values, but they don't have the same values as you, it's not going to work out.
Or maybe people have like the wrong intentions going into it, or think they may have the same intentions, but after certain encounters, maybe it just changes.
Have you guys had the experience of you sleep with a guy and you really want him to be your boyfriend, but he says something along the lines of, I'm not ready yet. Or he strings you along for a couple months, continues to you, and then it just kind of eventually fizzles away into nothing. Have you had that experience?
So what do you think that is? What does that attribute to then?
That's you having sex with men who aren't willing to commit to you.
So what would that be though? Like wouldn't that be their values? Like your values, they're not equaling up.
Right, but what I'm saying is that what that could be is that you're sleeping with men who are out of your league because you're attracted to them.
I think that's just one theory. I don't know if that's not like a proven thing.
Okay, who's more, I'll just ask you the question. If a guy can sleep with a girl, do you think he has an easier time getting her in a relationship than the reverse?
I would say that's probably true because a lot of women look more for relationships to begin with. So I think that's true in that sense. I think men, especially when they're younger, aren't necessarily looking for a relationship like that. So I'd say yeah.
Okay.
I think it just would depend on what both of the values are. Like
I'm
how
not
they
sure
equal
I'm
up.
Totally following. On the whole.
Does anyone else want to respond to that?
I'm not sure I'm
statement?
following on the values thing.
Okay.
So what's the argument, I guess?
Like, I don't think it's necessarily about...
Okay, here, let me ask it a different way. If you sleep with a guy, how confident are you that you can get him into a relationship if you sleep with him within the first 3 dates?
I don't even know if... I wouldn't say anything type of confidence. I don't even know how to answer that question because I think it's more like... It's like deeper than that, right? Because then you don't know... Depends on how much we know each other. We don't know like what our values are, how they align. Like I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay. Well, so you're looking at it from the point of view of, would I date them or would they date me?
Your question was, would they date me? Right?
Okay. Let's say, have you ever had like a one-night stand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think in a, actually, let me frame this a little differently. If you hook up with a guy on the second date, how confident are you that you can turn that second date hookup into a boyfriend?
I think what you're saying, though, is what each person wants. Sometimes people just want casual sex. Some people
Yes, both
value.
people could want the same things, but
Yeah, some people value
but what I'm
relationships.
saying is, like me as a guy, look, there's
Yeah.
girls out there that just want to
Like the
hook
probability.
Up, but
Yeah.
okay. Here's the other thing that I forgot to mention. So, typically, in order for a woman to sleep with a guy, the guy needs to be at least physically attractive enough for her to be in a relationship with him. Whereas for a guy, we'll sleep with a girl who, just based on her looks, we would immediately disqualify for a relationship just based on her looks, but we'll still sleep with her.
So what is that attributed to, do you think?
There is no
Like,
attribution.
what does that mean?
Wait, was that
Like,
just like
why?
a statement, or was that like more? Because like I feel like
Is
yes,
this like a
with what
study,
you're
or-
saying, like
Yeah.
Like
facts, true.
so guys, like, if typically women will actually break a rule in the opposite direction. So in order for a woman to have a one night stand where she otherwise wouldn't, the guy has to be like really physically attractive. Whereas for a guy to have a one night stand with a woman, he's actually going to go the opposite way, where he will have sex with a girl who's less attractive than he would otherwise be in a long-term relationship with. Now, if he can get a one-night stand from a really hot girl, he'll do it, but men are willing to have casual sex down, whereas when women choose to have casual sex, it typically ends up being with men who they might not be able to get into a relationship, but they can get casual sex from him.
Yeah, I get
The
that.
silence in this room is palpable, by the way, because you all know I'm right.
I mean, I
You
feel
all
like you
know I'm
you were,
right.
you were
If
going
you
on the
guys-
right
It's the
track. I just
difference of-
don't know what response
as
It's
you
the
women-
difference of the way that men and women view sex. I mean, that's the foundational thing.
Yeah, and there's a chemical reaction that happens in a woman where she has attachments after she sleeps with a man. So it's a different brain chemistry that happens.
Absolutely.
So
it's bonding.
yeah, it's a bonding, and you know, that's the beauty about men and women, because we have different, men have a different drive than women, and then women have that chemistry that happens after they sleep with a man. So
Right, but I mean, just to reiterate kind of, again, what I'm saying, so
yes, I heard what you said. Like
Yeah.
a man will sleep with someone just to have sex, whereas a woman has higher criteria or standards because she wants to have this man be
Yeah.
someone that she wants to date.
So, like, if a woman is kind of on the lookout for casual sexual encounter, like, she's going to be, like, hyper-focus in on, like, a really hot, attractive guy if she's inclined to go get that casual sex. Whereas a guy, he's going to just be like, I'll get whatever I can take. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And so that opens up this potential for men who are, frankly, more attractive than a given woman to have sex with that given woman, maybe keep her around as a friends with benefits. She'll never get commitment. She'll never get a relationship. And so that's why it's important for women to realize, again, their how do I put this best? Their attractiveness in the dating marketplace. So that's why if you got a bunch of girls saying, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, you're going to be chasing after a certain caliber, a certain tier of guy who you'll never get commitment from. So women's league is who you can get commitment from, who you can get long-term relationship from, who you can get marriage from. Your league is not the cohort of men who you can have sex with once or a couple times or even friends with benefits. That's not your league ever. Whereas for men, our league is pretty much anywhere from any girl we can have sex with. That's our league in terms of physical appearance.
Sounds good. Sounds normal.
Checks out pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not that that's.
if you have a lot
obviously
of guy
that word,
friends, you
but-
get to hear that kind of conversation,
Yeah.
which I have, and I grew up with brothers that look
It's true.
a lot
It's
like
true
you
how they
two.
think.
One dark, one light one, and you know, it's just it's part of kind of life that
Well, would you
Guys
guys agree with this statement? Women sleep with who they want, men sleep with who they can.
Yeah, I agree
yes.
I'd say that's
Yeah.
overall.
Anyways, let's see. Let's get into some notes here. I need to get Serena.